All right, man. We're gonna switch it up a little bit. We got some little shit. What does that say? Cartel, narcos, doc. It's finna be some crazy shit right here. So we got the Gulf Cartel's youngest female assassin found tortured and dismembered. I don't know what to expect from this video, bro. But you know how them cartel, them Mexican gangs get down. They don't play at all. Not about their money, not about disloyalty, none of that shit. That shit that our gangs got would not fly. So I already know this finna be some crazy, just ridiculous out of the box shit. But let's go ahead and get to this video. If you like the video, subscribe, comment on it for me. Let me know what you think about it. Let's get into it.
Flaca, like other young female assassins, worked her way through the rank. In most cases, they start working as low-level lookout workers or prostitutes. In some cases, some of these women were born into cartel families or recruited from prisons.
On the 5th of January 2015, this picture of La Flaca was leaked, and on getting into public circulation, she had unknowingly signed her death warrant.
It was quite surprising how a lady that young could have ranked high in the cartel. The leak, however, was suspected to have been the handiwork of the Los Metros gang, a rival gang.
Nah, it's like a fact that the average cartel member lifespan is like 3 years, I think. 3-4 years. That shit is crazy.
Los Ciclones, the faction La Flaca belonged to.
Since the early 2000s, Mexican drug cartels have revolutionized their operations, continuing to utilize more and more brutal tactics to give themselves an advantage over their rivals. The Gulf Cartel, under the infamous leadership of Ociel Cardenas, created Los Zetas. This is a heavily armed wing made up of mostly ex-military and law enforcement personnel. This group has left a bloody trail of destruction across Mexico with torture and mass murders, shallow graves, and extreme public displays of violence.
In a country where organized crime groups called cartels are dominant, there is one group that stands out as a mystery: Los Zetas.
This is a gang like you've never seen before.
Yeah, I've heard about them, but yeah, a lot of people don't know. It's not just one cartel, it's multiple cartels at war with each other to be the head cartel. So it's shit going on constantly. Like me, I don't want to go nowhere near Mexico. I don't want to go on no cruise that go past Mexico. I don't want to be on no plane that fly over Mexico, nigga. I don't want to go to Mexico at all. And I've heard from a lot of people, if you like driving to Mexico with a truck or a nice little F-150 or something, the cartel and them police officers out there, they will extort you for your car. Like, they'll damn near kill you to get that truck, to give it to cartels like this so they can help transport drugs and do all type of shit with it. I don't want no parts of it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not finna go to war with no crazy cartel member. Hell no, I'm good.
This cartel, formed by the Mexican army, grew rapidly in power.
Los Zetas initiated militarization.
Like, look at these niggas. What the fuck?
And absurd brutalities that many cartels emulate to this day. Violent shock and awe tactics such as beheadings, torture, and indiscriminate murder. Los Zetas became increasingly volatile over the such as
getting killed in Aeropostale is crazy. I ain't gonna lie, that would, yeah, what the fuck, that sucks.
Torture and indiscriminate murder. Los Zetas became increasingly volatile over the years.
Los Zetas' extreme ruthlessness and determination to get what they want is part of what has made them achieve the level of fame and power that they have today. But that doesn't mean that its members are immune from suffering the same fate of many of its victims. Even some of its young female members have died brutally violent, horrific days. Today, we will discuss one young female assassin, La Flaca, who
is that a fucking M16?
Today.
What the fuck is that? She can't shoot that! What?
We'll discuss one.
This shit is crazy. And look, when was this? This TV got an ass on it. This a TV with a booty. How old was this video, bro? When was this made? When was this picture taken?
Young female assassin, La Flaca, who died a death so awful and gory that it's hard to even think about. This is the story of Jocelyn Alejandra Nino. Before we can get into the details of the fate that ultimately befell La Flaca, we must first discuss the rise and fall of the Gulf Cartel. In the beginning, it was very difficult for any of the rival cartels to keep up with the powerful Gulf Cartel and Los Zetas.
The Gulf Cartel is always in need of manpower or woman power in special cases. The face of Latin America's cartels was changing at the time as more women were rising up in leadership and taking on roles in drug trafficking and assassination.
Despite these groups' power, as time went on, inevitably, other groups began to rise to prominence. Groups like the Sinaloa Cartel and the Juarez Cartel began getting stronger and taking over. They developed their own armed wings and sadistic new methods of violence that were unlike anything that had been used before. By the year 2015, a lot of deep internal issues had begun to form between the Gulf Cartel and Los Zetas. At war with themselves, they began to decline and eventually split up. The groups broke off into smaller groups, known as factions, in an attempt to try to regain some of their strength. But unfortunately for them, most of these smaller factions didn't have a strong common goal or purpose in mind. They lacked direction and organization. There was little unity to hold them together. But despite their many problems, some of these groups did survive. Para-style military groups rose to prominence with the Jalisco
Is that a fucking rocket launcher?
New Generation Cartel, CJNG, becoming the top dog that was instilling
A
fear
minigun?
and rising to power in a way that had never been seen before. Criminal groups have experienced a lot of changes throughout the years, especially when it comes to morals and how far they will go to get things they want. In the 70s and 80s, the cartels were still, of course, very ruthless, but as a general rule, they were mostly against harming women or innocent children. That was a line that they drew for themselves. This is not to say that some women didn't have important roles within the cartel's day-to-day activities, though, of course. In fact, some women, like the infamous
Oh my gosh. What the hell you hiding in there? She got one of them little, what's them shits the frogs got? Where they be croaking and shit? Rabbit. What? Oh, shit. Is he black or
the
Mexican?
Blanco
That's a
were even
black ass
considered a
Mexican.
prominent and deadly leader.
A Colombian
God
native
damn.
named Griselda Blanco.
Oh, I've heard about her. Oh, I've heard about this crazy ass. Nah, what's that dude's name? I forgot his name. But her ex-husband, ex-boyfriend, he been going on an interview run on DJ Vlad talking about her ass. Oh my goodness, she is insane.
She was the largest
Getting
cocaine
everybody
importer
killed.
at the time.
Known in cities across the US as the Godmother for her mafia-like brutality.
But aside from these more rare cases, women would take on less dangerous roles, such as money laundering. As the 21st century came around, however, things began to change. Women were no longer playing background roles in the cartel activities. Instead, they were joining the front lines. In many cases, they were putting their lives on the line in very dangerous positions. For example, some of these women would be lookouts, referred to as halcones. They would patrol areas and report back if they saw any law enforcement activity. But in many cases, they were unarmed and had no way to protect themselves if they got caught up in a sticky situation. Many of them would be executed by rivals while in the line of duty to the cartel. But some women would prove themselves to be more successful in these dangerous roles than others. Those that performed well would have the opportunity to climb the ranks and earn more powerful and prestigious positions, sometimes even getting leadership roles. In many cases, these female assassins were effective because a lot of people, including law enforcement, don't suspect a pretty young woman to be a violent killer working for the cartel. Many of these women weren't afraid to use their physical attributes to accomplish what they needed to get done. One example of this is what is known as setting honey traps. This is when these female assassins would lure targets by promising them physical affection, only to
Backdoor. They backdooring. That's what they doing. They backdooring your ass. You gonna go over there, you thinking with your dick, not the head on your shoulders, and you finna get killed. You got backdoored.
them when they least expect it and execute them. These powerful female assassins
Oh, they the ones doing the killing? I thought they was luring them to a spot and then the niggas come and do. Oh, so she offing you. Oh, that's sick. That's sick. Imagine. You get approached by this fine little Mexican thing. She all on you. She invites you over. You think this shit groovy, bro. You go over there. She on your body. Y'all drinking, whatever. You get in the bed. Y'all get naked. Y'all getting skin to skin. And then she off you? That's crazy.
Often referred to as sicarias, some particularly powerful female assassins would
Why does this bitch have an RPG? Where do you even get this shit?
lead groups of other sicarias. A few of these women became quite famous in this ruthless line of work, including a woman named Maria Guadalupe Lopez Esquivel, who went by the title La Catrina. La Catrina worked for the CJNG and was quite famous. She was beautiful and was known to like to flaunt both her curves and her dangerous weapons on her social media pages. She was widely respected in the CJNG until her violent death in January of 2020. At the time, Mexico's army, the National Guard, and the Michoacan State Police raided the safe house where she was staying with other cartel members. During the raid, she was struck in the neck and was eventually discovered by one of the officers hiding beneath a collapsed wall. She was covered in blood, appeared terrified, and no longer looked anything like the powerful, deadly assassin she was known to be. In this video, an officer can be heard trying to assure her that help is on the way by telling her, "Calm down, kid. The helicopter is coming for you. It is coming now. Easy, easy. You are going to be okay. Try to hang on."
Tranquila, mija, ya viene el helicóptero por ti. Ya viene el helicóptero. Tranquila, hija, tranquila. Vas a estar bien. Trata de aguantar, ¿eh?
However, La Catrina would succumb to her injuries shortly after the helicopter picked her up and medics were attempting to treat her. Before the raid that would ultimately take her life, La Catrina was responsible for a lot of violence and bloodshed herself. In October of 2019, she led a team of hitmen from the New Generation Cartel on a violent ambush in Michoacan State's Aguililla municipality. The incident claimed the lives of more than a dozen state cops. La Catrina had been a part of the cartel since 2017. She joined after beginning a romantic relationship with another cartel leader, Miguel LM2 Fernandez. LM2 was at the house at the time that the raid occurred and killed his girlfriend. He survived, but was arrested at that time. Aside from La Catrina, there have been...
Wait, what? He did what?
LM2 was at the house at the time that the raid occurred and killed his girlfriend.
Why?
Survived, but was arrested at that time. Aside from La Catrina, there have been some other infamous female assassins, notably Jocelyn Alejandra Niño, who was better known as La Flaca. This title means skinny one and is based off of her thin physique. She was known to be one of the Gulf Cartel's youngest female assassins. La Flaca's exact birth date is not known, though we know she was born sometime in the 1990s.
Oh, she Mexican. They don't even know what her birthday was?
City Tamaulipas,
Oh, no.
which is located in northeastern
no.
Mexico.
Jocelyn's early life and upbringing was in a relatively poverty-stricken environment. It's not known for sure what pushed her into the underworld of Mexican organized crime, be it family ties to the cartels or just a rocky financial situation.
But what we do know is that when Jocelyn was first hired as a member of the cartel, she was believed to still be in her teens. In fact, she probably wasn't even out of high school yet at that time. It is likely that most cartel leaders thought she would be promising as a lookout or by using her youthful beauty to lure targets and set honey traps, while other, older members of the cartel took care of the dirty work of the executions. But despite her young age and the fact that many people within her own cartel may have underestimated her, Jocelyn quickly proved that she wasn't the type of girl who was going to be happy working in the background or staying on the sidelines. She was going to take charge herself.
La Flaca first became an internet sensation when a video of her holding a modified M4 assault rifle with an innocent smile on her face hit social media. The post identified the female assassin as a member of the Gulf Cartel branch based in Rio Bravo, a town in Tamaulipas.
On the 5th of January 2015, this picture of La Flaca was leaked, and on getting into public circulation, she had unknowingly signed her death warrant.
Talk about Jocelyn's role in the cartel continued to attract more and more buzz online, and so did her notoriety. This actually put her at even greater risk of assassination. Jocelyn's reputation became one of both fear and awe. People were shocked by how young she appeared to be.
It was quite surprising how a lady that young could have ranked high in the cartel. The leak, however, was suspected to have been the handiwork of the Los Metros gang, a rival gang to the Los Ciclones, the faction La Flaca belonged to.
So, just like other older large cartels, like Los Zetas, have broken off into smaller factions, such was the case for the Gulf Cartel. Jocelyn worked for the faction named Los Ciclones in 2015. The Cartel del Noreste and Los Metros were its main enemies. Los Ciclones' main area of influence was the border crossing between Matamoros and Brownsville, Texas. Obviously, as she was a leader from a rival cartel, Los Zetas was desperate to take down this young girl who was continuing to grow in power.
The purpose of leaking the picture was to attract the authorities so their rivals would get arrested.
To have the face of a top sicaria exposed simply spelled doom for her. The picture was leaked to Valor por Tamaulipas, a citizen journal page meant specifically for organized crime leaks.
The picture didn't stay on this platform for long, though. It quickly made its way to much bigger social media sites like Twitter and Facebook. There, it continued to be shared and ended up amassing thousands of views.
People were fascinated by this petite woman, showing off her friendly smile, a pendant on a gold chain worn outside the Kevlar jacket, and her hands looking delicate as she held a modified M4 assault rifle.
People on social media carefully analyzed every detail of this photo, including the way that Jocelyn wore her hair to how casually she seemed to appear.
Her hair was brushed straight back with sunglasses atop her head. Her arms were bare. A tattoo was clearly visible on her skinny right forearm. Niño, it said. The same 3 words echoed around the minds of all who saw the picture.
People became totally obsessed with Jocelyn. And then, of course,
I mean, yeah, she looked young as hell.
There were some
She looked like 13, 14 right here.
admirers.
Who was she? Was she a big shot in the cartel operations, or nothing more than a gun-wielding pawn? The picture tainted the rose-colored glasses with which the populace looked at the cartel life.
It was clear that Jocelyn certainly hadn't come from the same upbringing or was enjoying the same life of luxury of other kingpins like Pablo Escobar. In fact, her life was discovered to be very simple and humble, even when she was at the height of her power as a cartel leader. She was different from past female cartel leaders in that she didn't seem to want to flaunt her power or control, but rather show things how they really were.
Instead, it looked like the average home of a low-income family. As a member of the Los Ciclones gang, La Flaca was at war with the rival faction Los Metros at the time. By leaking her picture, she became an easy target for the police as well as rival gangs.
Unfortunately for Jocelyn, the rival cartel's attempt to expose her by posting her photo online was successful. Between April 12 and 13, 2015, Los Metros captured Jocelyn and 2 accomplices. They were later found murdered.
On the 13th of April 2015, just a few months after the post went viral, La Flaca was found dead just over the Mexican border in the back of a truck.
The way that Jocelyn lost her life was especially gory and horrific, but the way that her body was so callously disposed of was also extremely sad and graphic.
According to the authorities, her body was dismembered and stuffed in a beer cooler. 2 other dead bodies were also found next to hers, a male and female who also shared a similar fate with the Sicario.
One of the victim's head was removed. The other female victim, like Jocelyn, was dismembered. The bodies showed signs of torture, likely to extract information, and were identified by distinctive tattoos, including the word Niño, which was Jocelyn's surname, that she had tattooed on her forearm.
Investigators believe that La Flaca was executed with a gunshot before the perpetrators proceeded to dismember her body.
The rival cartel didn't stop there. They also sent a very pointed message along with Jocelyn's dismembered body.
The perpetrators added a written message close to the bodies where they threatened other Los Ciclones. This will happen to all the who support Los Ciclones. Keep sending these the message read. They also criticized the gang for using females as foot soldiers.
There has
Like, bro, them them Mexican gangs do not be playing, bro.
Been much doubt that the group responsible for Jocelyn's grisly murder was the Los Metros gang, especially because they controlled the area where Jocelyn was basing many of her operations.
Moreover, Nino's group was tasked with preventing the dominance of the Los Metros gang in the area. The gang reportedly posted pictures of Nino's dismembered body on Twitter, indirectly sending a warning to other members of her gang.
There have been some rumors that Jocelyn may have actually been killed by another female, particularly a woman named La Gladys of the Zetas cartel. This infamous woman had been known to terrorize the communities of northern Mexico. While we might not ever know the full details of how Jocelyn was killed and who specifically was responsible, one answer that we do know is why Jocelyn was targeted. She was targeted because she stood out, and for her incredible success as a young leader. It clearly intimidated her rivals, and instead of beating her, they chose to eliminate her.
La Flaca, like other young female assassins, worked her way through the rank. In most cases, they start working as low-level lookout workers or prostitutes. In some cases, some of these women were born into cartel families or recruited from prisons.
While Jocelyn's life as a female...
That is sad, bro. She probably been through everything to get that rank in that cartel. Went through the mud, probably getting raped, having to do shit on her own, having shit done to her, having shit done to the people she loved. All that for her to get killed and dismembered. Crazy. Probably before she was even 20 years old, maybe.
leader ultimately ended in such tragedy. Many who know her say that she wouldn't have had it any other way. Jocelyn believed in the phrase, "Those that live by the rifle, die by the rifle," and that statement is definitely a testament of how this cartel leader's life came to a close. The brutal nature of Jocelyn's death serves as a grim reminder of the violence endemic in cartel conflicts. It is an epidemic that certainly doesn't appear to be going away anytime soon. It will take major action, likely not only from the Mexican government, but from many groups and leaders all over to bring an end to this senseless crime and instill peace for the generations to come.
You reap what you sow. The cycle is endless, and she is no more.
Damn. I mean, but really, you live by the rifle, you die by the rifle, man. But it's just unfortunate. Like, man. Tough, man. Damn. Yeah, that's it for this video, man. Like, subscribe, comment, DM me some videos you want me to react to. Damn.